Hello folks, this is Kavfire here with another stream. And it's the long anticipated game that I've been waiting for a very long time to get, Starfield, by one of my favorite publishers, Bethesda. I don't know anything about going into this game. Well, I know some things. It's a space game where we can customize, build bases, so on and so forth. Yes, new game. Oh, I've been waiting for this. And I have tomorrow and Thursday off to join for you guys to watch me play this game. My hope is that I can actually gain more followers, and actually this should be a launching pad of my streaming career. Bethesda Game Studios presents Oh, that music, that music.
Seals are good. Oxygen's good. Just do what you did last time, and you're fine. Follow my one simple rule. Hella, what's my one simple rule?
Listen to Lynn. Boss lady knows best.
Exactly. Listen to me. Mining's just like any other job. Go steady, go safe, go home with a pocket full of credits at the end of the day.
Yeah, totally. It's just like, now working the Stardock. Except, with more cave-ins, lasers, and accidental dismemberment.
Very helpful. Thank you.
You're gonna be fine. Your first outing was solid. And, let's be honest, it ain't exactly astrophysics.
That's why I keep him around. Good pep talks.
Yeah, and the fact that I can pinpoint a helium deposit from 300 meters.
Not untrue. A shame we won't find any down here. But the metal deposits alone should pay for our own helium. Hell, after this, we'll have enough jump fuel to bounce from one end of the settled systems to the next.
Hey, more minerals, more money. And so the cycle repeats itself. Just no more unauthorized jumps in the house for room space, okay?
He's just a big baby. There are worse lives. You know, most Dusties don't even make it this far. I have a good feeling about you.
Group hug now or at the end of the shift?
One of these days, Hella, I am going to leave you behind.
Promises, promises.
Okay, wow. Can't move yet.
Okay, let's see what we've got. How are we on time?
A little longer. Grab some samples?
Always. But not you. Check on Isabel. Make sure she eases up on the breach. I don't feel like getting buried alive today.
Roger that.
Remember, Dusty, keep your breathing steady, and never take that helmet off down here. Oxygen processors don't extend this far.
Yeah, because God forbid we drill on a rock with breathable atmosphere.
Know what I love about working in Freestock Collective space? Fewer regs. A job like this in the United Colonies? Huh. Free from red tape. Look at this one over here. Calvert! No! No! It's a laser, not a sledgehammer! Ease up! Benning, if you got paid per break, you'd be a millionaire. Let's go!
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna actually, read it, because I'm having trouble hearing it. Yeah, let's go 80%.
your cut, you get your cut. No exceptions. Come on, pick it up. Troy, what's the yield?
Minimal at this point. Occasional glimmer, but it's weak.
What do you think? Stay the course?
No, ma'am. Juice ain't worth the squeeze.
Well, okay then. Let's call this one tapped. Why don't you move over to that big vein we looked at?
Yes, ma'am.
This is so freaking awesome. Do I have to mine my own resources? And build my own fleet?
Dusty, you're up. Grab a cutter and mine what you can. Metal deposits are in that cavern. I'll shout out when I need you.
I'm busy. Got anyone else to bother? Got a few more digs to go before I feel like talking to you.
Come on. It's time. You're with me.
Okay, let's see what we're doing with Supervisor Lynn. Okay, this is awesome.
Ella, get the readings.
What hand? Getting some blank here.
Yeah, about that.
Problem?
Not if you consider a spike in gravity readings a problem.
I don't.
You don't?
What we're after, it'll read as an anomaly. That's what I was told anyway.
Okay, now you're starting to freak me out.
Relax. It's just another job. Come on.
We're getting close, I think. Yeah, everything is just... Lynn, seriously, there's something really effed up about this.
Where is it, Hella?
Through there, I think.
Okay, you're up. Something goes wrong in there, we'll come get you.
Why would anything go wrong?
This is awesome. This is awesome.
Still getting weird gravity readings. I guess that's a good thing. Just keep going.
Yeah, might as well get the extra.
Do you see anything?
Wait for it to recharge, because it's... Oh, and actually recharging on the little indicator. Okay, this is weird. cool shit.
Dusty, snap out of it.
Hey, come on. Come on. Okay, take it easy. You were out cold. No physical damage. Mentally, the jury's still out. You know who you are? New recruit for Argos Extractors? Ring any bells? Any of this look familiar?
Okay. We're gonna go through these because I have no idea what they're gonna give. So I gain ballistics. Uh, Bouncer. So this is basically means I am a hunter. Bouncer, obviously, I punch people. Not gonna go bouncer. Bounty hunter. Uh, Bounty hunter is an option. Chef. No. Uh, Stealth. So this is basically your standard, like, rogue, but I can also hack shit. Okay. Diplomat. Bard, basically. it's basically the college of. I'm probably gonna butcher this, but Escatane, the one bard college that specializes in being diplomacy. Love them. Love that class, that college, because if you are doing um, a lot of RP, they will come in handy because they have an ability that allows you to um, not fail your diplomacy, your persuasion checks. It comes immediately as you get it. It it allows you to, if you roll a uh, 9 or lower, lower than a 10, basically. Um, so it automatically becomes a 10. Even if it's a critical, a 1, it automatically becomes a 10. And then you just add your bonuses. And that's really overpowered for like a level 3 character. And if you specialize in that type of thing, you are going to be God. But for this, we're not going to do that. Gangster. No. Okay. Soldier. So space controls. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go with soldier. Dream home. You own on people. Unfortunately, it comes with. Yeah, no. Uh, um. Hey. Um. You grew up. Um. do hero worship. I said that. And let's do that.
You were a
I
good
don't
find
know.
when we hired you. Former military always not done. Well, you got the sample. Client's on his way. Then we all get paid. You remember anything that happened? Easy there, high flyer. Probably just the endorphins kicking in when you passed out. Don't go having an experience on me. You'll walk it off. More importantly, we got what we were looking for.
All this trouble for that stupid thing? Huh, sure don't look like much.
Never mind what it looks like. It's worth more than this mine has pulled in all month. We'll be... Speak of the devil.
Okay, so I can do... Oh, I am one good-looking person.
Our constellation contact is on approach.
Wait, the Explorers group? I thought they were kind of a joke.
Not a joke. You're just too young to know better.
Hey, I'm just saying they got a reputation. Hell, I bet half the crew here doesn't even believe they really exist.
Half the crew doesn't believe Earth exists, but it's still there. Same with Constellation.
Yeah, but come on. Exploring space? Who does that anymore? Ain't the space we've already got complicated enough?
Not to them, apparently. All right, Dusty. Airlock. Put your helmet on.
Oh my god, it's so beautiful. That's a real gun! And folks. Is that a mech? That looks a lot like a mech. Can we pilot it? I want to put a tank cannon on this thing.
Really? In a Discovery class? That's it, Dolphins?
Come on, let's do this.
I know, right? That looks like a railgun.
Barrett.
Man,
Been a long time.
yes it has. That mine on Bendy, right?
Kazal, hellhole, like this place. Rare mineral contract. Your tastes are a bit more sophisticated now, huh?
So, you found something?
Right here. The new guy found it.
That right. And everything went cool? Just like grabbing those minerals on Bendy?
Kazal. And no, Barrett, not cool. He passed out after the extraction. Woke up saying all kinds of nonsense.
Is that right, cowboy? Went on a trip, huh? That fun, huh? Not the most gentle push into the great mysteries of space, but hey...
Oh, yes.
Been there.
Look, just hand over the credits, and I'll be happy to never see this thing, or you, ever again.
That's why I like you, Lynn. All business.
Barrett, the scanners on the frontier are reporting a ship coming in hot from orbit.
I really thought I lost them.
Barrett? Everybody get ready! Just like the emergency drill! Go! Go! We've got this!
And
There's something out there.
reload.
It is a shame exploration requires so much bloodshed.
I need some help here! followed. Every time.
Now that was some fine work under pressure. You dug up the artifact, right? That means you saw it. The visions? You're coming with me to Constellation. You're part of this now. Marvelous.
Oh no, Barrett. No. You think you're just going to take off after the mess you caused?
All right. I guess I did just put you all on the Crimson Fleet hit list. How about I stay and I send your Dusty here in my place? I know, but he's not some miner anymore, Lynn. Soon as he touched that rock, something changed. Don't tell me you can't feel it.
Fine. It's a deal. Get out of here, Dusty. You're on to bigger things. Just go. Before I say something I regret.
Well, now that that's settled. Vasco, get him to the lodge. No deviations unless absolutely necessary, okay? Protocol Indigo.
Indigo. Again. Very well.
Oh, and hey, take this. You'll find it very useful out there. And it even tells the time.
I hate this flag.
Hey, look at that. The watch fits you perfectly. Now, questions? Come on. You're really not at all curious about that light and music show you experienced? Why it only affected you? Because if you didn't notice, we've all been handling it since with no problem. The way I see it, Constellation needs that artifact, but they also need you. This mystery is only getting bigger each step we take. And you're part of it now. Technically, it's not even mine. Consider it a loan. Vasco will keep you on course. Besides, I'm making an exception since you can tell Constellation about that vision you had. See, that's the problem with the settled systems. Too easy to take everything for granted. While everyone else is busy playing politics, we're the ones braving the unknown, charting the vastness of space. Without us, the galaxy is just a big room with the lights turned out. That, my friend, is the million-credit question. And Constellation can find the answer. With your help.
Yeah.
They're just following the loot, like pirates do. And I have something of a reputation as a loot collector.
I bet.
And Vasco, don't let him break my ship. We're still in one piece. Oh, God. I'm gonna throw up.
Just up the ramp, Captain. I'll be in the external robotic. Stay. frontier.
Okay, how do you... R.
Captain, Protocol Indigo is in effect. Captain, I assume you know how to fly a Class A starship. As Barrett likes to say, it's as easy as learning to ride a bike. I will attempt to boost the shields, just in case there are any difficulties.
Very cool. Oh, it's actually like a proper flight deck.
Shields ready. The rest is up to you. Now that we are in orbit, it might be wise to test all controls and systems to ensure they are not on the verge of catastrophic failure. I can step you through the entire process, or if you're already an experienced pilot, just power up all the systems, and we'll be on our way. Each system on a ship requires power. Allocating power is under your direct control. Let's go over the engines. Engines control our maximum speed. Try increasing and decreasing our relative velocity. A ship's engine has a sweet spot for better handling during turns. Draw your attention to the HUD. You'll notice a speed indicator in the lower left with a gauge that goes up and down as you adjust the throttle. Try to center the gauge so that it lines up with the center of the vertical bars to its right. Boosts can be engaged for temporary bursts of speed. Let's turn our attention to the shields. Try adjusting power to the shields. Notice more power increases their strength. Shields protect the ship from hull damage. Without a hull, it'll be vaporized. Shield health is displayed in the lower right. Hull damage is below it. You've proven an adequate pilot. Are you familiar with ship combat tactics? Because that's a Crimson Fleet ship bringing its weapons to bear. We will need to disable their shields. Laser-based weaponry is particularly effective.
Box.
If you can keep the enemy ship centered on the HUD, we can lock in to fire a homing missile. The enemy shields are down, Captain. Ballistic weaponry excels at damaging the hull once shields are offline. surviving your first Starship assault, Captain. We should search the wreckage for spare parts and other salvage. You will need to fly close to it before we can access the remains. Crimson Fleet ships are jumping into our location, Captain. Our mission. In short, they are after the frontier and will not stop. We will need to deal with the local Crimson Fleet captain. A recent scan indicates an abandoned facility on the nearby moon of Crete, a perfect staging area for pirates.
Nice.
The abandoned facility with our Crimson Fleet captain is on the surface.
So okay, so there is one downside where I can't just fly into a planet's atmosphere and go wild. But that's okay. I can't get everything I wanted.
I'll follow you from here on out, Captain.
The ship's cool. I like it.
According to the scanners, the abandoned research facility is in this direction. Be careful, Captain. Alien creatures are often unpredictable. I will report combat.
I love that they're actually giving me, like, what it says in its element. I believe that's... I heard something. Something skittery. Oh, so I have to actually research more than one to get, like, the full data. That's cool. That I can accept. Right? So I can't actually just, like, go out and just you know, see one thing and survey it. No, I have to actually scan everything. Which is cool. I have to 50%. I think I'm getting pockets of yeah, you want to scan everything. Nice, I can actually jump. That's so cool. the deposit of water. Nice. Okay. No one's out front, which is a...
The Crimson Fleet is a confederation of smaller, independent pirate crews, all flying under the same banner. They are typically unscrupulous and violent.
Yeah, no, this is why I actually recommend it to people who I know. Let me play the game since I already spent the money on it. Let's see if there's actually anything worth scavenging. Out here. No, doesn't look like it. So I'm going in with this like bandit cave. Try to use Skyrim. With only 24 rounds. This is gonna be interesting. 60 bucks, I believe. Wishing this thing had a suppressor.
Curious, these are United Colonies markings, but we are in Preston Collective space. It then stands to reason that this was once a secret UC facility.
Yeah, no duh. Of course they're gonna be secret facilities. robot be any louder? Okay. So, based on this image, the guy looks dead for at least a while. I'm thinking maggots haven't set in unless they're not gonna bother with that. I think he's been dead for quite a while. I'm not gonna worry about that.
Rogan said if you see anything that isn't moving, it dies. Yeah, I hear you. Wait, what was that?
Excellent. We are victorious.
Just getting started!
Last clip. Take this guy out. So we leveled up, nice. Okay, so let's deal with geology. Alright, so we got the kill point out of the way. A laser pistol and a rifle. So we only have rounds for I'm gonna I'm gonna... Slow and steady.
The terror morphe is loose. I repeat, the terror morphe is loose. Do not engage. If you can reach
Oh man, that was the best.
Classic United Colonies. Put something in the game until it kills you.
Okay.
One more
This room's...
try.
Okay. That's actually an interesting block placing system. Clear.
a high likelihood of human death.
Yeah, I know.
I am aiming for your center of gravity.
Yes. They are paying me enough for this.
No mercy! Let's get out of here!
Trying to kill me, but I am not technically alive.
Gonna take you apart!
In combat,
Down!
not sure why.
Your side!
Please avoid getting shot. Detection of enemy has dropped unexpectedly. Begin search protocol.
Right. Right over here. Go.
Violence significantly decreases one's life expectancy. I doubt the enemy will return.
Okay, this is... Okay, so we're gonna go back to the previous room. Yeah, let's see if we can get something interesting. There's gotta be like something down here. Well, this, and then again, this is like the first like dungeon that we have to deal with. Oh, I need dig picks, which are basically like lock picks. Fire grenades. Good, I don't have to actually have a weapon. Let's actually check the binding real quick. Nothing but junk. Don't use my name. Hang on, folks, 1 second. Hello folks, I'm back. Sorry about that.
I'm detecting a safe nearby. We could make use of whatever is inside, provided you had some digi.
That was weird. For those who are watching this on YouTube, Gangster Dog Supreme 21 is actually one of my roommates. He has been given a firm talking to about using my real name. But yes, my real first name is Michael. Those who do not know. Alright, we're gonna finish this dungeon up, and then I'm gonna go eat dinner, and then I will probably get back to this, or, well, an epic rifle. We do have ammo for it. Not much, but
Oh, I understand. You wish to kill us and take our belongings.
So we got a shotgun. So this one's actually six about 6% more accurate, has 2 mods, weighs a bit more, and has 8 more range. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use this one. B. Good weapons. So we have this, which is we have, let's compare these two weapons. So this one's the laser rifle pistol is a bit more accurate. Has about half as much fire rate, weighs more, but actually has has a bit of range. I'm gonna use this over the Eon because they the modified Gradle and the Eon both use 777 rounds. You always want to have
We should now be free to travel to constellations and ports without Crimson Fleet interference. And then land in the city of New Atlantis. Do not worry, this will all become second nature before too long. alright. I can have my fleet.
Starship Frontier, this is United Colonies Security. Maintain course and prepare to be scanned. Scan complete. No contraband detected. You are cleared for landing at New Atlantis.
looks like we're not gonna do it. But I'm hoping that we might be able to get like a vehicle or whatnot. Oh, that's
Your memory is
hang on. Okay, folks. So I'm gonna end it here because I need to eat. Um. Ooh, okay. Um. Yes. So, yeah, I'm gonna end it here, and I will catch you all later. I'll probably stream either later tonight after I eat, take a quick break, maybe watch some anime. But yeah, this is Kavfire signing off. Hope you all have a lovely day.
You're a worse father than an alcoholic elephant!
Hello?
Hey, Mikey,
Yeah, Dad.
you up?
Yeah.
You got your car keys?
Yeah.
What if we brought the US military-industrial complex to the Victorian era? Well, that's exactly what we are going to attempt to do today. Hi, my name is Syntegrate, and let's let the past me explain it further. Basically, the goal is to make as many small arms, ammunition, anything the military could use, we want to make it.
Awaiting connection with Tech System. Where is Dr. Venture?
Should I be as freaked out as I am? Why is it doing this?
You know, she and Jonas had a bit of a falling out over parenting issues. Then Jonas thought the survivors of a nuclear holocaust might be too distraught to function as a society underground. So he wanted to pump small amounts of mood-enhancing drugs into the ventilation system. And Mother, this bitch, she didn't approve.
What'd she do?
You know, when your parents catch you smoking, and they make you smoke the whole freaking pack as punishment.
That's right, a veritable subterranean utopia. Why, we even have our own concert hall with a 90-piece classical orchestra. Yes, sir, old Jonas thought of just about everything.
July 1st, 1392. King Charles VI is riding at the head of his army, and the leper has been following them for a half hour. "Turn back, noble king," the leper shouts. "You are betrayed." Those words again and again. As the minutes pass, Charles begins to sweat. Is he in danger? This whole expedition is to punish a man who'd tried to assassinate his best friend. He eyes his courtiers. He feels them watching him, but when he looks, they look away. It is so hot. A page, drowsy from the long ride, drops a lance. It clangs when it hits the ground. "Traitors!" Charles shouts, drawing his blade. He rushes forward, hacking at his retinue. Stunned and unwilling to draw swords on their most Christian king, all the courtiers can do is wrestle him out of the saddle. But by the time they pin him to the ground, 5 men are dead. Charles stops struggling. His eyes roll back in coma. The courtiers exchange looks. The king is in the grip of madness. And soon, France will follow him. Before the miracles began, before the siege of Orleans, before the saints appeared to a peasant girl, France was a country cursed by God. And that began with King Charles the Beloved, or as he became known, Charles the Mad. Because that first psychotic episode would not be the last for the French king. At times he was perfectly lucid, able to rule as he used to. But then he would slip, failing to recognize friends and family, not understanding that he was the King of France, instead insisting he was St. George, or wearing thick clothes with iron bands sewn in because he thought he was made of glass and might shatter if touched. And on occasion, he would run wild through the halls of his residence. Court officials had to brick up entrances to keep him inside. With Charles incapacitated and often confined, rule fell to a council of regents overseen by Queen Isabeau. And this wasn't actually the worst time for France. There had been a truce in the 100 Years' War, and the country was at peace. People were thinking about taxes, not armies. Because here's the thing. While Charles was unable to rule consistently, he wasn't dead. The crown hadn't passed to his sons. It was all about the council, and as councils will do, this one split into factions. Particularly as the older generation of council members died, leaving their seats to their children. Two main groups emerged, the Armagnacs and the Burgundians, both led by men of the royal bloodline. The Armagnacs were led by the king's younger brother Louis, Duke of Orleans. Powerful, rich, and famous for his voracious pursuit of women. He was extremely close to the queen. Suspiciously close, some said. Even whispering that her third son Charles was actually fathered by Louis. Economically, they wanted France to remain the traditional agricultural country that it was. On the other side were the Burgundians, led by the king's cousin, John the Fearless, Duke of Burgundy. The Burgundians held large parts of northeast France, where there was heavy English influence due to the invasions of the 100 Years' War, and they were tied economically to Britain via the textile trade. So perhaps, not surprisingly, they were interested in developing France along an English model with strong cities and increased emphasis on pasture land and sheep farming. They also supported different popes. Yeah, there were like 3 popes running around at this time. It's a long story, we won't get into it. But their issues weren't all ideological. Other things that came between them were very, very personal. Rumor had it that Louis had tried to seduce John's wife. But the gist of the whole thing is that a decade into the council's existence, these factions were locked in a struggle to control the throne. Relations between the factions had been curdling for years, when Louis of Orleans, leveraging his close relationship with the queen, started minimizing Burgundian influence on the council, while also buying up land in the Burgundian sphere of influence. This also meant diverting royal gifts from John to himself, until Louis had an annual income 5 times larger than his rival. John the Fearless responded by adopting populist policies, whipping up the commoners and merchants by promising to abolish taxes that, he said, did nothing but pay for the extravagant court life. With tensions escalating, the two sides kidnapped members of the royal family, including the Dauphin, the crown prince, back and forth. Finally, they openly threatened violence. Everyone needed to cool down, the court decided. So on November 20th, 1407, the two parties reconciled in a court ceremony. But as they made their vows, a hit squad living in a rented house talked through their plans, sharpened their weapons, and bought masks. 3 days later, a shoemaker's wife looks out her window and saw Louis of Orleans leaving the queen's residence, a song on his lips. She looked away, heard shouts, and looked back. She saw Louis pulled from the saddle, thrown to his knees, surrounded by men with swords and axes. They struck him again and again, beating him like a mattress, until a man in a red hood told them to scatter. The attack was so brutal that they had to scoop bits of Louis into his coffin. His severed hand, which he'd raised to defend himself, became a symbol of Burgundian savagery. And John the Fearless owned it, arguing that he'd ordered the killing for the good of the crown in order to remove an evil and corrupt tyrant who defiled the queen and plotted to murder the king with necromancy. Charles, reportedly in a bout of mental illness, pardoned John and called for a truce. A year later, the factions were embroiled in a civil war. For a decade, the fighting would start and stop, with truces called and broken on an almost annual basis. And this civil conflict reached unheard of levels of viciousness. Soldiers scoured the country, sacking villages and looting everything, even the clothes off of the backs of slaughtered peasants. Paris changed hands multiple times, with poor Queen Isabeau having to hop between factions in order to protect the inheritance of her rapidly diminishing stock of sons. The Dauphins of France seemed to be cursed, with one dying of disease every few years. And then, disaster struck. Seeing his opening, Henry V invaded the divided France in 1415, as can be seen in our History of England series. But his campaign quickly bogged down, and an Armagnac force caught him as he was trying to march to the safety of an English-held city. The Armagnacs had more men, and the English were exhausted, demoralized, and riddled with disease. But there was the mud, and the rain of arrows. The French knights were heavily armored, but their horses were not. And by the time the armored Armagnac forces slogged into the battle line, they were so exhausted they could barely lift their weapons. Men who fell, drowned in the sucking earth. The flower of French nobility, 3 dukes, 6 counts, and 90 other nobles died in a single day. Many others were captured. But for France, the disaster continued when the Burgundians, seeing an opportunity, broke the fragile truce and made a grab for Paris. Instead of uniting, the factions played the blame game. The Burgundians argued that the Armagnacs had lost a crucial battle, and the Armagnacs claimed they would have won if the Burgundians had bothered to show up. The Civil War continued, and the English advanced, with the Burgundians often standing to the side, an English ally in all but name. Soon there were two Frances, with two capitals. Every level of society, from the plowmen in the fields to the academics in Paris, chose sides. And as France split, the royal family did too. Though originally an Armagnac, Queen Isabeau defected to the Burgundians after her former allies imprisoned her. But her surviving son, Charles VII, now Dauphin, despite rumors of illegitimacy, was literally married to the Armagnacs. His stepmother, Yolande of Aragon, was a major string puller in the Armagnac faction. So when Isabeau ceded her powers as regent to John the Fearless, and the two combined forces to drive the Armagnacs out of Paris, they were also driving out her son and heir. He had to flee amid the monumental slaughter of the city's fall. The Burgundians held the capital and the king and queen. The Armagnacs held their heir. This could not continue, it was decided. The Dauphin invited John the Fearless to peace talks. The initial approaches in July of 1419 went well, and the two agreed to meet on a bridge that September in order to hash out a final settlement, in order to end the Civil War. The confrontation was tense. John knelt. The Dauphin rebuffed him. Then something happened. Perhaps John put a hand on his sword as a mark of respect, or perhaps the Dauphin's Armagnac attendants just claimed he did. An Armagnac man buried an axe in John's face. The attendants beat him like a mattress and cut off his hand as John's assassins had done to their own lord a decade before. The Dauphin claimed that it was not planned, but he had motive, had arranged the means, and had the opportunity. Most of France, including his own parents, believed that their heir to the throne had lured a duke into peace negotiations and murdered him. So the new Duke of Burgundy made his flirtations with the English official and entered an alliance with King Henry. And the French royal family did too. After all, their designated heir was a murderer. No other issue could inherit the throne. But Henry had a claim. So a year after John's slaying, the king and queen of France disinherited their son, married the English king to their daughter, and officially declared Henry and his children the inheritors of the French crown. France was more split than ever, its throne given over to a foreign occupier. Every year the English and their allies pushed further south, and in a small village, a girl named Joan began to... February 22nd, 1431, Rouen Castle. A young woman stands amid inquisitors and theologians. She is an illiterate peasant, yet 3 notaries stand ready to scribble her every word. This is a trial, where she is both defendant and the only witness, and they are determined to rule her a heretic. They ask her about the first time she heard the voices. It was when she was 13, she said, in her father's garden. I heard the voices on the right-hand side, toward the church, and rarely do I hear it without a brightness. The voice was sent by God, and I knew it was the voice of an angel. Was it an angel, they ask, or a demon? To the villagers of Domlery, there was little hint that Joan would go on to do great things. She came from a farming family, humble, but with a leadership role in the village, and spent her youth spinning cloth and helping in the fields. Most expected her to live, marry, and die in Domremy, just like so many generations of girls had done before her. Though there were a few odd things about her. First off, she was a particularly devout child, one so eager to attend mass and take local pilgrimages that other children teased her for it. And on occasion, she spent excessive time at confession. Her little town of Domremy was a bit of its own world, with its own identity. In fact, Joan didn't even consider herself as living in France. The area where she lived was officially neutral in the ongoing civil war, but most people leaned Armagnac and considered the Dauphin the legitimate king, which was unfortunate, since it was also surrounded by Burgundian territory and subject to raids. Growing up, Joan saw Burgundian troops sack her village. What no one knew, though, even her parents, was that Joan heard voices. They came to her in light, using the language of angels. First, the Archangel Michael, then Saint Catherine, and Saint Margaret. Initially, they just gave her religious and moral instructions. But when she was 16, they gave her